This is quite the interesting situation. This happened a little while ago, and I didn't really know what to do with this story. Look at it, dissect it a bit. But there's a bunch of interesting topics to really bring up when it comes to this. Your past coming back to haunt you, but then also the lingering affiliation you have with certain cultural norms, even if you get up out the game. There's a lot to unpack here. So without further ado, you got Tekashi 6ix9ine, okay? Now, look at me. Do I look like somebody who really fucks with the 6ix9ine stuff? Not really. Goob is pretty good. Like Kiki. Outside of that, don't really have that much experience with 6ix9ine. It's a good sound and all that stuff. It's just not really my jam. I haven't really picked it up like that. I just know his personality, his style, and then also what he's done within the confines of a courtroom. I know that more than him even being a rapper. So yeah, the long and short of it is, okay, he cooperated with the authorities. He was claiming a sect of the Bloods. I think that's what he was claiming. We'll probably get into that as well. And instead of doing hard time, he cooperated, and some people ended up going away for a while. Shit happens, bro. But even 5 years after testifying against a gang member and Cardi B, 5 years after the fact, and he's getting jumped and beaten bloody in LA Fitness? Like, the fuck, man? Like, is this like the world's worst hit squad coming in? Is this a cloud attempt? Like, what the fuck is even going on? Not in our hood, you rat. Okay, so somebody who wasn't even affiliated with this shit, trying to fucking catch a case by, stick up for somebody that has nothing to do with anything anymore. Like, just whatever. Snitch. Rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine is beaten to a pulp in a men's locker room of LA Fitness gym 5 years after testifying. Yes, we already got that. Rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine was beaten to a pulp last night and humiliated in front of other gym goers at the LA Fitness 5 years after breaking rank to testify against gang members and Cardi B. It's hilarious. Theoretically, by the letter of the law, 6ix9ine does the right thing and he gets beat down. And Cardi B, who brags about drugging and robbing men when she was a stripper, she gets a McDonald's deal. Make that one make sense. The artist was jumped as he tried to leave the fitness club by a group of men who later boasted about the attack on social media. What a fucking idiot, bro. Video circulated online. They called him a rat and it wouldn't be tolerated in their hood. Oh, yes. You got what, 36th Street LA Fitness? Like, fuck off. Come on, man. The extent of the injuries is not yet known, and it is unclear whether any of the men who were involved have been apprehended. Yeah, but they were stupid enough to pose you stupid to brag about it on social media. Yeah, if the cops want to find them, they're gonna get snatched up real quick. While kicking and punching him, one could be heard yelling to another, take the picture, take a picture, I'm gonna be famous now. No, you're gonna get booked, you idiot. It's unclear what prompted the attack, but Tekashi has no short of enemies. In 2018, he was labeled a snitch after testifying for prosecutors against the likes of the Bloods. Okay, yeah, so he was running a sect of the Bloods. That's what I thought, but it's been a minute since I've been refreshed on the story and Cardi B. But yeah, all we can see is stills because YouTube's a fantastic platform. But yeah, man, he got beat up pretty good, but he's wearing a puffer jacket and shorts. Like, what the fuck, man? Cut a deal to lessen his own sentence after being charged with an array of crimes and spent just 2 years behind bars. Okay, man. Tekashi faced a 47-year minimum sentence. Yeah, because that sect of Bloods ended up getting hit with a RICO charge, and it's like, well, if you weren't actually, a trigger man on anything and you weren't doing any big crimes, you're just going to get snatched up for no good reason. Hence why those RICO laws are so effective, because they can get the lower level and affiliated guys to just roll on some of the big players, which ultimately the law enforcement officers want to get. But yeah, he was arrested back in 2018 on charges including racketeering, there's the RICO start of it, firearm possession, armed robbery, and attempted murder. Not saying he committed any of that stuff, it's just because his actions by repping and calling out the Bloods was in service and benefit to the gang at large. That's why they ended up charging him under the racketeering statute and then trying to slap him with just about a 50-year stint. For as long as Joe Biden's been in public office, he would have been behind bars. And that's Fed time, my boy. He would have been going away for a long fucking time, because you do at least 90% of that. So you can see why he decided, yeah, okay, I'll take the 2. And I think he tried to get his testimony, at least not captured on film. But, hey man, can't make all of your dreams come true. It was a part of a widespread crackdown on gangs in New York. How well has that worked out? Well, they tried. During which 9 members of the same gang were taken into custody and quickly abandoned as co-defendants, cutting a deal with the prosecution instead of agreeing to be their star witness. Yeah, because again, you know, this is 6ix9ine. There were a couple of other guys that he put on, but he's a star. He has a fucking future, or at least he did. In court, he took the stand to describe the inner workings of the gang and his own ascendance through it. He never really got that high up in the hierarchy, but high enough to be charged. Probably because they knew prosecution could flip him. Anyways, he participated in a lot of crimes, robberies, assaults, and drugs. Yeah, he was mostly just, you know, cheering on the crew from inside of the vehicle, but hey man, they can snatch you up for that. Don't be a part of a gang, you idiot. Stupid. As a result, Anthony Ellison, one of his co-defendants, was sentenced to 24 years in prison. Tekashi was, his name, I think his like real name is Daniel Rodriguez. You know, he wasn't born like that. Was sentenced to 2 years in prison in December of 2019. By then, he had already completed 13 months. So yeah, time served and then off with good behavior. Another 6 months, maybe. He was released in early April 2020 and allowed to serve the remainder of his term on house arrest. Yeah, because he cut a plea deal. I forget exactly what he ended up playing to, but non-violent counts. So he was one of those federal inmates that got out because of, well, coup restrictions. So I guess whatever. He had pleaded with corrections officials to be released, saying he was afraid of contracting the coup behind bars. Yeah, but that was every prisoner that was there. It's like, oh, you're shit. Oh shit, you're letting everybody out. I'm scared of getting the coup. Since then, he has done little. Oh, he has done little. Keep a low profile. Little to keep a low profile. He's been around at a bunch of different places. I think he's been releasing new music. That might be a typo, I would imagine. He continues to boast about money and women on social media, where he has more than 24 million followers and still making music. Yeah, clearly a typo, because it's like, no, he's actually still out there, you know, popping like that. Last month, he was seen in an Instagram post in which he showed off a metal case containing stacks of cash. On Friday, he was thrown out of Miami's Lone Depot Park, and he created a scene while heavily intoxicated. He was heavily intoxicated and interrupting other guests' experience. The source said he was drunk and inebriated, and he was out of control. He was at I think it was a sports game or something like that. It was at a baseball game. Fucking dork. Okay. There were a lot of families there. Oh yeah, World Baseball Classic game between Puerto Rico and Mexico. In August of 2022, his longtime girlfriend, Rachel Watley, was arrested in Miami after she punched him several times. So you're going to try to throw that on him? She assaulted him. Oh, okay, cool. Fan-fucking-tastic at Miami hotspot Kiki on the river. Now, there's another place that's on the river in Miami that I'm aware of, but maybe they're neighbors or something like that. That's interesting, man. Like, okay, listen, I know sometimes you just have to repeat the obvious, but if you engage in gang activity, if you think that that's the only way that I can get out, or if you're, you know, you're a white kid with my complexion, you think that that'll give you some street cred, right, brother? Yo, that shit's gonna haunt you for fucking ever. You have some shit going for you. You think by cultivating a persona, you think that getting all the face tattoos and that you need to back it up with some real street dude stuff. If the cameras weren't rolling, we'd have a different word for dudes. But, you know, hey, man, I think you get the point. That is a lifelong commitment. Because the moment that law enforcement links you up with that gang, well, guess what? You're constantly going to have to be looking over your shoulder. And even if you get up out the game, you move out of the hood. Now, the hood doesn't move out of you. Because what? Okay, he's flexing on Instagram. I got a lot of money, I got a lot of bitches, all of that shit like that, okay? But what were the accusations? What were the words that were leveled against him? We caught 6ix9ine slipping, rat, ADR, not in our hood. Yep, so you get fucking beat up at a gym because you're a rat. Fucking dumb, stupid, and dumb. And it should serve as a good lesson. But ultimately, idiots are just going to do whatever the fuck they want, regardless if it's just you and your buddies. If it gets to a point where, you know, you're committing some fuck shit and the government wants to come after you hard enough, you'll get slapped with that RICO shit. And regardless, if your boy is just out there and he does something retarded like trying to fucking rob a bank, guess what? If they can slap a racketeer in charge on that just because, hey man, he used your car, or you at one point in time let him sleep on the couch, well, guess what? You can get hit with that bank robbing charge. If you want to make something of yourself someday, don't run with stupid fucking people. This is is another great example. You have to cultivate your reality and make sure that your inner circle is well kept, because that shit will eventually come back to haunt you. Or if you want to go out there and commit crimes, I can't tell you ultimately what to do with your life. Make sure that you're on your lonely, because you don't want to get snatched up and you don't want to get caught up in what other people do. Otherwise, you end up looking like a rat to everybody in your former clique, and that you're never, ever, ever, regardless of anything that you do, going to be able to shake that persona. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.